Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zach and today I am driving a 2020 Kawasaki Teryx KRX 1000. Behind me screaming is a 1-liter, 2-cylinder engine. And down below is a CVT. Now I'm super excited to be driving this here KRX for obvious reasons. It's insanely cool. I haven't reviewed something like this before. And you know what? It kind of competes with the Polaris Slingshot. So, you know, there's that. Also, you can actually register these and drive them on the road, which is what makes it eligible for a review. If it were a golf cart, I wouldn't review it. But this actually is registered. It is insured. And so it counts. But before we get on to anything else, I have a website, zackpradel.com, where you can buy stickers like this retro sticker pack or big friggin' bottle sticker, both with free shipping. You can also submit your own vehicles to be reviewed by me through a quick and easy submission form, whether they're a Kawasaki or a regular car. I do film regular cars too. And you can read my behind the scenes blog to see what I'm filming before it comes out on the channel. Let's get back to that 1-liter, 2-cylinder engine. It's actually 999 cc's. It is a dual overhead cam engine with 4 valves per cylinder, and it is a 4-stroke engine. It's liquid cooled. It's a modern engine. It just has 2 cylinders instead of 4, 6, or 8 like a regular car. Torque is set at 76.7 pound-feet of torque at 7,000 RPM. And horsepower is set right at about 112, which is more horsepower than the original Mazda RX-7, a fully road-going car. So this thing isn't actually slow. However, like I said, paired to it, interestingly enough, is a CVT. It's actually not that interesting. Polaris uses CVTs. Most side-by-sides, this is actually called a side-by-side, most vehicles in this category use CVTs. However, this still has low and high ranges, which is pretty freaking cool. It also does have 4-wheel drive, which we'll talk about how to select a little bit later on. With that out of the way, let's talk about the interior, or what is left of it. Well, in front of me, I do have a digital gauge cluster. This reminds me a lot of the Polaris Slingshot. On the left is my gear, as well as RPM and coolant level and CVT temperature. Very, very important. I also on the right get my speed and my odometer. On the steering wheel, it just says Kawasaki and does not come with an airbag. That's why you have to register these vehicles a little bit different. They don't have turn signals, they don't have airbags, but this really is an off-road vehicle, so doesn't really need one. Off to the left, I do have my headlight switches, very nice. And on the door, I have my latch to get in and out, but of course, no window switches because, well, I don't have windows. Moving into the center, I do have a little compass, as well as under that compass is a storage bin for putting probably your phone or sunglasses or what have you while you're out on the trails. You don't want to get that dirty, dusty, or wet, so you can put it in there. I also do have a big slot where a radio could or would go. However, the owner has just put a phone mount in here, nothing too crazy. However, I do want to state off to the right, I do have a 12-volt outlet, and these sort of handlebars for the passenger have been put in. I do get a glove box as well. Again, nice storage, and it does have this sort of rubberized outer layer to help keep water out. Now, if you put this thing underwater, it won't really help that much, but for rain or puddles, it's not going to be an issue. Moving back to the center cluster, I do have my 4-wheel drive settings off to the very left, as well as I do have my low button, my winch, and some other added features by the owner, and I do have my wipers and wiper sprayers. Moving down below, I do have very rough and tumble cup holders, so we will do a big friggin' bottle test here in the Kawasaki Teryx KRX 1000. I don't really know how to say that first one, KRX? Whatever. And unfortunately, the big friggin' bottle does not fit. I would like it out on the trails, but hey, beggars can't be choosers. Now, moving on to the transmission, like I said, interestingly enough, it does still have high and low gears while it is a CVT. When you park it, you actually park it in neutral and just pull the handbrake, much like a motorcycle or manual transmission vehicle. A little interesting there. It is a very simple construction to get it in and out of gear. No struggles there. And then I do, of course, have the handbrake for parking the KRX. Then we gotta talk about the seats. The seats are actually pretty comfortable for a vehicle like this. I'm very surprised with the seats, and I also get these full harnesses for driving out on the trails and such. Since there's not much in terms of windows to keep you in, they do strap you in with some nice seat belts. However, this is only a 2-seater. It's part of the reason why they call it a side-by-side. Now we gotta talk about the looks. And first of all, it's in the Kawasaki green that we've come to know and love from every Kawasaki product. I love that. And overall, it just looks great with the added front end, the tire on the back, the big beefy tires, all of that stuff. I just think it just looks so cool. But now let's get on to my final thoughts on the KRX. And for that, I'm gonna start driving it again, so you might not be able to hear me. Well, one of the reasons I really wanted to review this is because it is legal here in Arizona. I'm in Sedona, Arizona, to drive these on the street. Would I want to? Not necessarily. The transmission is very jumbly. And when accelerating up to speed, it's a little noisy. And while it'll do 30 miles an hour, actually it'll do a lot more than 30. That CVT does not sound happy. However, it does have the horsepower, and I gotta tell you, this thing is very, very fun. But that's what it drives like on the road. Let's take it off the road. Now we're on some trails. It's gonna be hard to hear me again, but this is where the Kawasaki feels the most at home. It soaks up these bumps like nothing I've ever driven before. I drove my Mazda 3 on this same path, and I might as well have been in the Columbia Space Shuttle. This is great, and I mean, look at the scenery, come on! This thing is absolutely awesome, and this is where it feels most at home. On a gravel road in the backwoods, not even woods, back country of Arizona. If you have the capability to rent one of these, I highly, highly recommend it. Just for a couple hours, you really won't regret it. See, these bumps are terrifying in a normal car, but this, this is great. Oh, I love it. I really, really love it. Here we go. Oh, oh. Yes. Oh, it's so fun. I feel like a real cowboy out in the middle of nowhere. I mean, watch this. I'm gonna do a 360. Not like a donut, a slow one, but just take a look at my surroundings. Beautiful. Beautiful. Ready? 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 Ready for the bigger mountains? Ah! Ah! There they are! There they are. And you know what? The Kawasaki KRX brought me here. That's the coolest thing about this car, or this vehicle, whatever you want to call this thing, is that it has taken me down paths that I didn't think I would be able to go down because I don't have a car equipped for it. But now that I'm in this, it's easy peasy lemon McSqueezy. And I'll be honest with you, I've been doing this road trip across the West. Here we're obviously in Arizona, beautiful Arizona. Last night and this morning I was pretty down. I've been on the road alone for so long. And being trapped in my little car going across the desert, you see the desert, but you don't ever get to go into it because the highway doesn't go into it. Just goes through it. Well, now I feel like I got the Arizona experience. I got to experience it firsthand, and I kind of want to experience it a little bit more. So yes, you can plate these. You could drive them on road. Here in Arizona, you could really have this as your only car if you're crazy enough, but don't do that. Take it off road, take it out here, take it on the trails. Enjoy the scenery, enjoy what Mother Nature has so beautifully crafted for us. That's what this is all about. And it's pulled me out of my slump. I'm back, baby. I'm happy Zack. And happy Zack is best Zack. I think we can all agree. Huge thank you to Dean and his family for letting me take this out. Dean has been absolutely awesome out here in Arizona. If you want to rent this vehicle, it's actually part of his rental property agreements. He has a couple rental properties here just outside Sedona, Arizona. So if you rent a property from him, you can actually rent this for a couple of hours as well, which I highly, highly recommend. I can't recommend enough. I can't recommend Dean enough. All of his information will be down in the description below. Even his son, Nico, helped me get these straps fitted around my big body. They've all been so down to earth, so great, and they've allowed me to not only see the beautiful Arizona countryside, but get a little bit of my spark back, which that is priceless. Thanks, Kawasaki, and thank you, Dean. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.